Welcome to another edition of Up Close. My name is Ayanda Ali Payne. Up Close is a daily current affairs show that profiles men and women making waves in their industries, and it gives newsmakers a human face. The program also gives newsmakers a platform where they can share their stories, their vision, and even tackle uneasy concerns without scorn or vilification. Stay with us for the next 30 minutes as we talk to businessman Fikile Bili. Fikile Bili left a secure government job to venture into the unpredictable business environment. This Kimberley-born man took his changes by developing a debt-collecting strategy for municipalities. It helps them to recover outstanding millions of rand. Fikile has diversified and delivered. He's spread out his business interests to include security and engineering into his business fold. Well, let's speak to the man himself. A very good morning to you. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you very much.
I wanted to find out from you how you got this business idea. Were you sitting at home somewhere? Were you working in the office and it came to you?
No, actually, as you know, I'm in the consulting engineering field. I would travel to municipalities quite a lot. And then what I've discovered is that municipalities don't have money to pay consultants, like consulting engineers. And then I did a research to know why, if they've got allocations to pay for consultants, why they can't pay them. And then I realized that actually there's no revenue in municipalities. And that's when I discovered that something is wrong. And then I discovered that the people in the townships, suburbs, even business and government don't pay municipalities. And municipalities are left with no choice but to sometimes having to take the money they were supposed to use in projects to pay, for instance, ESCOM, just to break even. That's when I said, no, I need to go in there and convince the people to pay municipal services.
You saw a problem, you spoke to that problem and provided a solution. How easy was it to break free from the comfort of earning your own salary? At the end of the month you're going to get paid, but when you start out and undertake this new venture, it's all on you.
It was not easy because I had to choose between myself and my country. I'm not that kind of person who will sit back and criticize government or certain individuals. I don't do name dropping. I said, no, what value am I adding in my country as a South African? What is that I want to make? What is that I want to change in South Africa? And then I decided, no, let me assist municipalities to collect revenue, because the problem doesn't lie only with municipalities, it also lies with the people in the townships, business and government.
Your company draws on experience, it draws on your knowledge of township living among the areas or among the municipalities that you work in. How do you go in and persuade the people that this is to your own benefit that you pay for services?
You must remember, everything is educational. In government, they don't have time to convince people to go and pay. I have the time. I go around townships, do door-to-door campaign, and re-educate the communities the importance of paying for municipal services. Because some people think that municipalities are there to render services for free of charge, knowing that municipalities only receive a minimum allocation. It is very important for the end user, the people in the townships and everywhere, to pay in order for municipalities to break even.
Now that we know what your work is all about, let's see how you got to this point. Growing up in Kimberley, what did you want to be when you grew up? Did you know that this is where you'd end up?
No. Kimberley, it's... let me start talking about Kimberley. Kimberley was once the biggest city in the country. People used to walk from Limpopo to Kimberley to go and work because there was a diamond mine in Kimberley. The big hole. It was handmade. People will walk from Limpopo and all over the country to Kimberley. It's only when the discovery of gold, when people moved to Joburg during the gold rush, then Kimberley died off. But Kimberley is a place that produces intellectuals. I can mention a few, I will not finish. Kimberley, it's a place whereby there's no opportunities, but they are brilliant people. Kimberley, it's a place where there's no infrastructure, but it's also safe in its own way. It's home to me. I grew up raised by a single parent, Unombulela, which I'm very passionate about. What made me to be what I am today is because what my mom did when we grew up. You know, my mom was a hustler. She'd never believed in staying at home without working. She will change job to job just to see to it that we are eating, going to school and all that. So I think I took that from my mom because I started working when I was also at school. Because after school, I had to go and work in shops in the township to offload groceries from the shop owner just to get something to carry to go to school the next day. So I guess the values and principles that my mother raised me with, I've carried it till today and I want to pass it on to my children.
You come across as a great thinker, but also someone who's very sociable and likes to interact. Were you a popular kid growing up?
I was never, in a sense that I never had a chance, for example, to wear, those fashions back then because I had to go and work. I remember when our school was going to Umgababa in Durban. Up until today, I've never been on a school trip because my mother never afforded to take me on a school trip. I was never popular. I was always focused. I always wanted to remain in the safe side, seeing what my friends were going through when I grew up in Kimberley, So I had to be careful. But amongst my family, yes, I was, because I basically raised my own family. I raised my siblings. I've raised my own mom because I would take care of my mom instead of her taking care of me. I had to work after school in order for her to pay rent. I guess that's why I chase people after paying municipal rent because I've done it when I was still a kid. But it was nice growing up in Kimberley. Limited opportunities even today, but I have friends there, that I grew up with. Sipo Chaka, my classmate, we're in the same school. I've got Bugatti, Mr. Lowe, very close friend of mine. So yes, I do go home often, meet with my friends and family, yes. But I love going to Kimberley because I spend my Christmas there. Every Christmas is a must. I must be in Kimberley.
And now we know where you got your resilience. And we'll speak a bit more about that after the break. We continue to get up close with Fikile Bili. Stay with us. We continue our conversation with businessman Fikile Bili. Just before the break, you were talking to us about how resilient you had to be as a child growing up, and that perhaps that's what had an influence in where you are at the moment. Talk to us a bit about the challenges of being an employer, because I know there are several people that work for you, and also the space that you find yourself in.
Being an employer, it's not easy. Coming to think, today I'm sitting here, I'm owed by municipalities. You're looking for payment, it's month end, I have to pay salaries. And then you find someone just decided to take a leave and not authorize your payment. You're sitting with a situation. Look, I've employed I've got few call centers in Mpumalanga, here in Gauteng. I've got a 110-seater call center. Those are all salaries. I've got a 74-seater call center. Those are all salaries. I've got another 55-seater call center in Mpumalanga. Those are salaries. So what makes it difficult sometimes to me is that when people don't pay you on time. I remember the president did say small companies should be paid in 7 days. But with us, you'll find that you'll stay 3-4 months. For instance, there's one client who hasn't paid me for 4 months. I have to hang in there, and sometimes it gets to you, I get stressed because I work for this money, and people are just ignorant, and as sooner they realize the importance of paying small businesses earlier, the better, because we are going to grow faster and better. But overall, I take passion in what I do. I'm employing a lot of children from different provinces. I've got employees from the Free State, Mpumalanga, Eastern Cape, KZN, Soweto, Kimberley itself. Look, I've got young people in my company, and they're all delivering. My managers are at age of 25, 28, young females. They're doing very, very well. One of my best debt collectors, she's a former domestic worker, she's pretty. She's on top of her game. You know, how do I do recruitments? I look at those people that you have written off, because I was once written off. And I said to them, come, you have failed the interview, take her, give her a chance. And believe me, if you go to my call center, you'll think it's a high school.
You're giving opportunity to the next generation. Youth job creation right there.
Yes.
Now, tell me about the pressures and the stress of this work. You've touched on it slightly. How does that affect your home life?
I mean, you can imagine having to pay your service providers every month, and then you find that a client hasn't paid you. Those debit card orders come back negatively. It impacts on your emotions, in your personal life at home. It impacts in your business. I mean, can you imagine having not to pay a municipal, an employee for 4 months because of a client not paying you? It's quite bad. I mean, I remember once a friend took me to therapy because I was stressed. You know, when you find that the person has to pay you, ignores your calls. My body just collapsed. I had to go for therapy, but fortunately to that friend of mine, she helped me, and I've recovered. And
congratulations to you that you acknowledged that you needed to go for that, because many people will sit back and just let their body deteriorate under the weight of that stress.
I went for, actually I went for facials, manicures, pedicures. I had to do something with my body because my body was not corresponding anymore. But having said that, I'm positive of what is happening in the country also, because there's light under the tunnel. I need to say this, you know, I do work in Mpumalanga. There I don't have stress. That's why I will also always call Mpumalanga a sober province. You don't have situations whereby people have to give a mandate before you get paid. There you get paid. I think the leadership politically, administratively, they know what they are doing. That's why I said to a friend of mine this morning, I said, come next year, end of financial year, that province is going to do very well, because I believe their premier knows what he's doing.
And how do you relax? You mentioned some of the things that you do. How do you relax as a family with your children, wife? I know you're expecting a little one who's probably going to add a little bit more stress in the first few months.
Yes.
But how do you relax?
I relax at home. Like yesterday, I spent the whole day at home because I went out with my friend from Kimberley. We partied till 5 a.m. and my wife was not happy about it. I needed to spend time with my friend. We haven't seen each other for a long time. I spend quite a lot of time with my family. We go out, we travel, and but I like going out also. But I don't do your so-called upmarket places because I'm a Kasi boy. You know, I don't hide it. I go to Busy Corner. Busy Corner in Tembisa. I love it there. People are simple. People are relaxed. You find all kinds of people. The music is good. The food is good. It talks about me, Fikile, where I grew up. It's in the township. I don't like your upmarket places because I tend to become what I'm not. Or else I'm a township person. I like screaming when I'm probably tipsy. Now in Sandton, you can't do that. No. You know, you have to behave in a particular way. But I want to see you and say, Ali Payne, and scream at you. Now I can't do that in Michelangelo.
What I wouldn't give to see you do that. So I'm going to start following you around like the paparazzi.
But you know what people must acknowledge is that we've got different backgrounds. You are probably in the media industry. I'm a businessman. After being a CEO at Zandile, I'm becoming a father. On weekends, if I go out with my friends, I'm an ordinary guy. Yes.
Yeah, and being true to yourself and being real, I think, is very important. Yes. I don't like anybody who's pretentious.
Yeah, you can't, because you know what? I've seen a lot of friends living a lie. You find people, he or she stays in Midrand, but he does his hair in Sandton. Why? It's 200 rand cheaper in Midrand because of its Sandton. Status conscious. I'm not a status conscious person. I'm an ordinary guy. I like to be around ordinary people. You know, I don't go to places because they are in a certain area. No, I believe where I'm staying in Midrand. I will do my shopping in Midrand. This is where I stay. You know, I would not go to Sandton to buy food. I'll buy food in Midrand.
Oh, there you have it, an extraordinary man who's living a very ordinary life. Fikile Bili, he'll be continuing to tell us a little bit more about who he is and what he does. Stay with us. Welcome back. Fikile Bili is with us. Still, we've chatted about a whole range of things, and we continue to speak more about families, what I want to look into. And you're getting an addition to the family. I know it's very hush-hush right now, so I won't delve into that too much. But we understand it's a girl, and you named her in advance, but you didn't know that you were naming her when you named the company.
Yes, when I registered my company as Zandile, I had nothing. And people will ask me, who is Zandile? I said, no, it's just the name. The name Zandile means growth. Yes, it's Zulu. But when I realized that I'm going to have a baby girl, and I said, no, looking at the company, it has grown, and I'm also growing. It means it's growth. I'll name my daughter Zandile. Probably she will take over this company, because I believe in women leadership.
Hello to that,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
You are very passionate about your company. I keep swaying you towards other aspects, but you keep bringing me back and saying to me, please, let's continue to talk a little bit more about what I do. You're so passionate about this. Why?
Because my company is the future. My company is going to lead South Africa in a better environment in terms of municipalities. I am the only debt collector in the world that educates people before I call them, I SMS them, I summons them. I don't go this route of blacklisting people. No, I'm very sensitive to that. I know that there is a culture of non-payment. I need to change that. You know, if you are a criminal, you come out of prison, you need to be rehabilitated. I don't say our people are, but I'm saying I've chosen to teach my people the importance of paying municipal services. And what I do, I go around opening call centers in South Africa. I'm taking that own municipal debt, and I'm employing young people to call their parents to pay, because tomorrow they are the ones who will be owning those houses. They need to know the importance of paying for municipal services. You know, I go around, like for instance, my plans are big for Mpumalanga. It's not a secret. I intend to open the call center hub of South Africa in Mpumalanga, simply because of my working relationship where I'm working in Mpumalanga. I'm working in Mkhonto municipality. I've got a very great relationship with the mayor, Mr. Begabantu Mchali, a mayor with Mr. Mahlangu, the municipal manager, a relationship with the MMC, Ngelosi Ndlovu, and other councillors, and the CFO, Mr. Temba Mabuya. I remember when we started there, we didn't just collect. We took a lot of celebrities from soapies to Mkhonto. We went door to door with the mayor. We educate people about paying. You know, after 3 months, the CFO came back to say we've collected 17 million. Because people came forward. And Mkhonto is one of the municipalities that has done well in Mpumalanga on the Auditor General's report. They have improved from being under administration. Now they've improved their report. I hope and I believe come next year they are going to get a clean audit, because that is the vision of the Premier of Mpumalanga. And I want to be part and parcel of that. You know, I've chosen and I've made a decision to work in Mpumalanga because of, like I said earlier, the province is sober. There is no, they are not power hungry. They are level-headed. You can speak to anyone and everybody. There's no red tapes. So it's going somewhere. That's why I chose my investment will be in Mpumalanga.
You pride yourself in being one with the community. You know, reading your bio, you speak about how you know township living. You pride yourself in being among the people. How have they received you? How have they received your organization?
With open arms, coming to think that some people will say they were disrespected by previous debt collectors, who will write them letters of demand and tell them that they will blacklist them and probably repossess their stuff. And it makes people very uncomfortable. You must know that we as Zandile Management Services, we do what we call data cleansing. Sometimes I can send you a bill of municipality, all to find out it was a great-grandmother's house. She passed on, and that is a child that had at home family. So we do that door-to-door, assist us to see the situations and the conditions of our people on the ground. That's why we re-educate our people about the importance of paying for municipal services, so that we must see their situation. Because I can write you a letter and demand money, but what if you are an indigent? That's why data cleansing is very important, because some of the accounts, if you look at the ID number, those people were born, they registered 1935. That person is probably dead by now. But now we assist municipality to recapture the new people on the system, and we also help them probably with vending systems, with billing systems. We also help them with smart meters of electricity and water. So we normally call ourselves revenue enhancement specialists, because we improve municipal revenue from zero to upwards.
You have spoken about the challenges that you faced as a child. You've spoken about your family. You've spoken about the business. As an individual, though, what goals have you set for yourself to say 5-year goals, 20-year goals, at such and such an age, I want to have achieved thus for yourself?
I was talking to a friend of mine in Mpumalanga this weekend. With no offense to anybody, probably after Jacob Zuma's term, I want to be the youngest South African president, because I believe the reason why I chose myself is because I know what's happening on the ground. I stay on the ground, I live on the ground. That's why you see I'm not in those fancy restaurants, I'm in the township. I know what our people are experiencing. I believe it's just an ambition. It's not an official announcement. I'm just saying one day I'd love to be a state president, because I believe there are many changes that I could do as an individual, especially to the black people in the rural areas and the townships. And probably when Fikile Bili becomes president, I'll remove all these factories to the villages, so that the village people mustn't come to Joburg. Because people in the villages have got land, they've got everything, they don't have jobs. I'm one of those people who believe that factories in this country must be built in villages, so that people mustn't flock to big cities. And I believe that why should Anglo Platinum have an office in Joburg, in Sandton? Why can't they have it in Rustenburg and in Polokwane? Why should a company, a coal company like in Witbank, have offices in Sandton? Why not in Witbank? Why can't the BS go back to Kimberley? That's where the diamond is. You can't shift things to Joburg. Every province must be sustainable. Every city must be sustainable. You understand? So, but if you move everything to Joburg, the country will depend on Joburg.
I love your ambition. I love your drive. Reach for the stars. There you have it. Thank you so much for joining us. That's how we wrap up this edition of Up Close. Catch us at the same time, weekdays on SABC News, DSTV channel 404. Catch some of our favorite episodes online as well on the website at youtube.com/SABC News. Till next time, it's bye from me.